So first of all, the first thing you want to do, and you're going to do this regularly anyway, but specifically in the shoulder months, is to go back to those missed opportunities. People that didn't close originally, you're going to have, you have to, the two different markets that you have, or the two different customers you have in roofing, is repair and replacement, specifically. And it's a myriad of, there's really no rhyme or reason to what you have more of. Now, when you call and how often you call and when you turn those over to your inside people are going to change based on those. But the very first thing you're going to do is those missed opportunities. And then the second one is going to be specifically go back to your previous repair customers and offer in a complimentary inspection to make sure that there isn't anything else going on. Your replacements they take a little longer. You have to finesse the replacements on the roofing side. That is really kind of a feel. And so before you ask the question, I'll go ahead and answer it, is when do you call those back? The repairs will take those first. The repair is pretty much at 30 days or maybe even at 2 weeks. If you haven't captured that repair, it needs to be called. So, and if the sales guys aren't calling them, and you can see in the system based on their follow-up, I'm going to turn that over to somebody on the inside and let them do an outbound calling, and then I'm going to pay them a portion of that commission, quite frankly, because now they're doing the work. And then on replacements, it's going to be a little longer. Depending on the market, if you're in a storm season, you're really going to have to be about 90 days out with no activity, before I'm going to turn that over to somebody on the inside. It's a different ball. It's just a whole other game. And that customer is going to have questions that whoever's doing that outbound calling cannot answer. But it's just to get the activity rolling.
How do you, when talking to your salespeople about following up on those leads, how frequently should they be doing so? Because you don't want to be abusive, right? Where you're calling and texting every other day. Because I know as a homeowner, I'm like, okay, chill out, dude. Patient, I've got some stuff going on. I'm interested, but not like right now interested, right?
Well, let's take 2. So repair is going to be next day, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks. And I'm going to call first, always make a phone call. And then texting is incredibly effective. But don't just text first. You can't text first. You have to make a phone call. They're probably not going to listen to a voicemail, so I generally don't leave one. So phone, text, 1 day, next day, 3 days, 7 days, 2 weeks. At that point, want to repair, it's either they went somewhere else, they're ghosting you, make the outbound calls, let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Replacement's a little different. Still going to do the next day, 3 day, but you're going to be asking permission to do this. Is it okay if I follow up with you tomorrow? You have a chance to talk to your spouse, whatever. Is it okay if I follow up with you in a couple of days? If it's an insurance lead, now that brings up a whole other game, is that it generally takes 7 to 10 days for them to get their insurance check and their scope of work that the insurance is approving. So you want to put something in your tickler file, maybe touch base with them in the meantime so they don't forget who you are. But for the most part, you're not going to touch that lead for about 7 to 10 days until they get that money and that scope of work for their insurance. Now there's training in that for roofing specialists, and I'm not going to go into it now. However, once you get to that 7 to 10 days and they have that insurance money, now you start your presentation, next day, 3 days, 7 day, 2 weeks, and then maybe at that point about once a week until they tell you no, or they sell, or now they're just ghosting you at that